Hey. Day four of the Sucker Free Art Show. Appreciate everybody for coming on the way. This will be the last live of this art show. I appreciate everyone's comments, views, just everyone's participation. You know what I mean? And today we have no one other than hopefully we won't have technical difficulties like last time. Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hey, how you
Yeah, not
doing?
too bad, not too bad. How you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling good.
That's
A
what's
little
up.
nervous, but it's good.
Ain't nothing to be nervous about, man. Just chill interview. That's all. That's all. And ain't
Yeah.
no pressure.
Okay.
I appreciate you coming out. Appreciate that. I can't wait to get into your art. Your art is actually pretty interesting. I never like well, and I never thought I would get like a wood craftsman like on my first art
Oh,
show.
really?
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
man.
It's pretty different.
I, I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into it, man.
Okay.
Introduce yourself to everyone and tell us what you do.
Uh, yeah. Okay. Definitely. I am Michael Wood. I'm an alpha man, an industrial engineer. I am the founder of Boskwood Designs. Boskwood is a custom woodworking or wood art creator, right? I create wood art.
Mhm.
So it's a matter of creating a piece that talks to the audience from the wall. I use CNC machine. I use epoxy inlays to bring out the design, and I finish the piece. But really, the bottom line is it's about telling a story. My art, if done effectively, is designed to tell your story from the wall. So it differs from other art, I believe, because you buy art because you're appreciating the art,
Mhm.
where my art appreciates you.
Mm.
And so it tells your audience the story of who you are. And that to me is a successful
I
piece.
like
So that's what I kind of tie my energy, my creativity to, is to be able to speak from the wall.
I like that. That's fine. That's fine. Does your last name have anything to do with the reason why you became a woods craftsman, or is that just coincidence?
That is very funny. I it did never dawn on me until I went to when I started, getting into this craft, going to buy supplies, and they're like, well, credit card, I pay with credit card or whatever, and they see my last name, like Wood, and I'm in a lumber yard or something like that, and they're
Yeah,
like, wow, that's pretty fitting, right? And I'm like, wow, that is pretty good, but it never dawned on me until someone made reference to my last name being dealing with wood, and I'm like, oh, no doubt. But there is a little bit of history too with the name Boskwood.
mm,
Boskwood, a lot of people don't know what Boskwood is. Well, bosk is really a name for a small thicket of wood, right?
mm,
And so I was thinking, well, I'll create pieces from small pieces of wood, so-called bosk, and it's wood. So there goes bosswood. And then the design part comes with my whole creativity behind it. So, that's kind of like where the name came from. But to answer your question, no, but I am extremely glad that it does it's a coincidence that that is my last name.
yeah, man, it's like fate,
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just fits perfect.
yeah.
Um, Tell us a little bit about your upbringing.
Upbringing, pretty easy. Born in Michigan. Well, first for foremost, Air Force brat. Um,
Okay.
third boy of four boys. From my parents. Father is retired military. Who's both parents are in Michigan. Spent my first 4 years in Japan. So Japan is my first language, and
Mm,
um, I can speak Japanese, but I only know the bad words.
My guy.
Yeah, I forgot everything else. So I could politely, as a kid, they have a different way of talking. So as a kid, I could politely cuss you out in Japanese.
Hey.
But that's that. And then my dad came back to settle down in the high desert in Victorville, California, where I grew up, Southern Cal,
Okay.
and went to high school there, went to college there at Cal Poly, got the industrial engineering degree there, started working in manufacturing plants, migrated over here to, or moved here in 95
Hmm.
to the East Coast. Had an opportunity to get into, computer work and started
Right,
getting
right.
to database design, became a front end programmer, writing code and that type of stuff. And now I'm really doing the same thing to this day, looking for my days to retire. And there comes Boskwood, which is really where I want to spend my time.
Absolutely.
So I am a married father of three kids, or a dad actually, not a father. A dad, in-laws, two grandkids. I like definitely riding motorcycles.
Hmm.
Uh, Golfer, bowler. I'm a sports fan. I guess my favorite subject about sports, other than right now, which is March Madness,
Oh
which
yeah,
kind of like on
yeah, it's one of
now.
my favorite times too. Yeah.
Yeah. I like to debate who the GOAT is.
Uh,
MJ, LeBron,
who's your
I
goat?
I I'm like I like it. Well, my GOAT is LeBron, and I
Really?
can go way down the argument trail on why. But in short, I guess in short, I can ask straight up, who taught LeBron how to play ball? Straight out of high school, straight into pros. Didn't really have good coaches. Didn't have good players. Who taught him how to play so well? That's a good
I
question.
mean, it was. I mean, it's a good question. It was natural. I would say like freshman year he wasn't good in of high school, and then like sophomore year he gained that height, and then he started gaining a little traction. And junior year it was up.
Yeah. And so, it's just like, who taught him how to play that game? And he's like, one of the greatest students, like Kobe and Jordan, all them, just they know the game inside and out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
His IQ is very high.
yeah, so, but that's a whole nother
Yeah,
discussion with
yeah, we could go
beers and
somewhere else. So yeah,
cigars and all that
that's
kind of stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah, that's another conversation.
yeah. So, that's how I guess I grew up.
That's nice. Let's talk about industrial design, right? What made you decide
Yeah.
that as your career?
Uh I don't know. I was always good with numbers in high school, and looking at things, building things. I enjoyed building things, I guess creative side of me, and industrial engineering, which is really finding a better way to do things for businesses, especially
Hmm.
manufacturing plants and that type of stuff. It kind of fit. So, I really have to congratulate my librarian back in the day when we went to libraries to help me really find industrial engineering. So it was really my librarian that helped me identify that's kind of like what I would like to do,
Okay,
and
interesting.
was definitely right.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely,
for sure.
yeah.
Would you say that kind of like segue into you becoming a woods craftsman, or is that just like
Uh,
entirely different journey?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My manufacturing background, my attention to detail, my attention to processes, definitely led me into something like woodworking. What really got me into woodworking, I don't I don't know if I really could say. It's kind of like it just attracted to me. I
Right.
saw, well, I did have a friend, or have a friend that made guitars with a CNC machine. So I guess I
Mm,
some questions about that, and it kind of led to wood, and like, oh, I can actually carve that in wood. And then I found out about the epoxy, because at first I was just thinking about etching it and then painting it,
mm-hmm.
which a lot of people do. But then you see epoxy in wood more or less like what river tables and that type of stuff. And then I took it another level and said, well, building having a computer background, I said, well, maybe I can get into CNC to help me expound my artistic flair for putting things on wood. And
Right.
so it took me a little while to get that, but I'm extremely confident that I can pretty much put anything on wood, at least two dimensions, you know. If you said, "Hey, I want Bart Simpson smoking a cigar," with his feet up in the air, boom, I can do that, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of creativity uh, is here, right? And that's what kind of led me into more of being able to have my art speak to you or speak for you
Mm-hmm.
while being displayed, right? It could be motivational statements. It could be logos minus trademarking. I don't really want to plagiarize trademarking and things like that. But there are ways to get around that, right?
Mm-hmm.
With satire and parody that you put actually in your artwork, you
Mm-hmm.
can get away with things. That's how all of these political cartoonists get away without being sued by, basically defaming,
Yeah.
you know,
Government.
figures, celebrities, and all that stuff. So yeah,
That's a good point. I never thought of it.
yeah,
Can you give us a breakdown on like your woodworking process? So I actually went down the rabbit hole for a little bit on YouTube, like just watching people like cut wood with
yeah.
saws and then doing the epoxy, like you said. Like he sawed it down. It was like a big, like huge, it looked deformed piece of wood. Marked it, cut it down. He had a sanding uh
Mhm.
tool. I don't know what you call it. I haven't done wood shop since like middle school. So he
Yeah,
said, yeah, yeah.
process. The process is pretty detailed, right?
Mm,
And there's quite a bit of steps that are involved. But on the top level, there's definitely the very first step is the inspiration and the concept development. That's basically getting the idea. What is the requirement that the client wants, right? Sometimes they'll
mm,
come to me and say, hey, I want you to create a piece for me, right? And then that kind of gives me carte blanche to saying, okay, but I want to tell your story, right? So it's not my story I want to tell. I want to tell your story with my creativity, right? So I give you an opportunity to give me some requirements or criteria that you want in your piece, whether it's colors saying something about you, something that makes it unique. So that makes you take ownership, saying, that's my piece, right?
yeah.
So it's that type of inspiration I get, and I try to look at what would make my pieces speak from a legacy standpoint. What historical value can it capture? What story can it tell from the wall? So it's that type of thing, and it comes from me sketching down an idea. So once we get that session, uh, I will generate a concept
Mm-hmm.
and I shoot it back to you and saying, hey, is this kind of hit it? Is this what good, or did you want to tweak something? Or am I totally missing the base, right?
Right.
So we go round and round until we say that's what we want, right? Then it gets down to transforming that idea in the computer so it can talk to the CNC machine. And the CNC machine, which is really computer, uh, geez, I can't even know it. It's like computer uh, n- numeric something. I don't even know what the C stands uh, but it's the CNC control. That's what it is. It's
I got you.
control. So it's you have a software. You either import it in or you draw it up and import it in, and you basically take lines or whatever, and it becomes pieces of the line that you can actually move and curve and point and that type of stuff. So you're
Hmm.
actually constructing it in there, and the software will convert that into tool paths, which means that you're kind of telling it how to cut, when to cut, how fast to cut, that type of
Mm,
stuff. It's extremely precision down to one thousandth of an inch.
mm,
So that's why I can. My next process is once I get it on there, I may have to cut my piece several times
okay.
uh, because we're dealing with epoxy, which is just basically, well, epoxy is a liquid form that hardens over time, right?
Right.
Usually 24 hours. You mix it up and you can add color to it. So you start with a color base, okay, and so you let it solidify. Then you have to put it back under the machine and cut out. On top of that, you cut again.
Mm,
And that causes a different layer to transform, which you can then put a different color, which then gives you the opportunity to now start shaping or seeing the piece come to life. And then you have all different type of colors. You're dealing with color mixing. One drop here versus one drop there may have a totally different color.
okay.
So when you're doing, and that's another reason why I didn't want to really do mass production, because matching those colors, you have to mix it perfectly in order for that color to stay exactly the same. But it's art form, and I do not guarantee that every color will be the same color. So if I have to do two things of one, that color may be the same if I'm doing it during the same pouring. I mix a bigger batch and I pour it here, I pour it there, I pour it there. That's all going to have the same color. But if
Right.
I let it solidify and then I have to do it again, and I do measure, by the CC, how much I'm actually adding color wise, how many drops, and that type of
Mm,
stuff. But that's kind of loose in the tolerance range, but definitely good enough to get gold this time, get gold next time, get gold and so on.
mm-hmm.
So that varies, but it's unless you are a professional color examiner, if you will, interior designer or something like that, you
Yeah.
would gold is going to be gold unless it's side by side or something like that. But I've been able to master that pretty close where sometimes I can't even tell,
Mm-hmm.
the thing.
Now you definitely sound like a master of your craft
Yeah.
for sure.
So you have that. Then you have, after you get all that done, you have the polishing off,
Right.
and finishing the piece, which is a whole
Uh,
nother
uh,
industry, if you will, because and at any step you can ruin your piece, and
even at the end.
you don't hold the piece down on the machine correctly.
Uh,
I've had problems, and it could be at the very last spot where I'm cleaning off, shaving off all of the top epoxy,
mm-hmm.
and I do something wrong and it gouges it and ruins the piece, and you're like, oh my god, you know
Yeah.
and maybe about 10 to 15, maybe not that long, but maybe about 8 full hours of my time.
Mm-hmm.
But over the period of that time, maybe, a week and a half, because you have drying time and, sanding and, polishing and all that stuff. So you can easily ruin a piece by missing one little aspect of all your process.
That's where that precision comes in.
Yeah, exactly. It's really paying attention to detail, and the last thing I try to do is rush anything. It's like,
Yeah.
and be ready when it's ready is art.
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
it,
Exactly. When it come out good, people not gonna
yeah,
complain anyway.
yeah,
So,
right.
so I know you are a proud black and gold brother.
Absolutely.
Uh, uh, can you explain like how much of being a part of the Alpha Phi Alpha? Incorporated. Do I say that?
Yep, that's correct. Our fraternity incorporated. I became a member in um, on November 11th. I'm sorry, on November 24th, 1983, at 4:07:07 a.m. in the morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Like
and I can definitely
that.
say that Alpha has shaped me into the man I am today. And it brings humility to my life. It brings being a servant to people.
All
It
right.
brings, being a proud black man, being educated, that type of thing, and definitely helping out those that are less fortunate, in the community and that type of stuff. So it really has shaped me into I would say, a fine young man, to help others in society. So that definitely has been it, but it also does have it's more, I wouldn't say more, but a cheerful side of things, having brotherhood,
Hmm.
being able have that fellowship and that network, no matter where I go. It's something that is a phenomenal thing to have.
Absolutely. How would you say it influenced your craftsmanship? Because I know
Uh,
two pieces of yours that stuck out to me was the broiled lamb chop
yeah.
and the one behind you, the wild apple
Wow, that's
jelly. That's
jelly.
like synonymous, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of like, those pieces are, if you know, you know, you know.
No,
Uh,
okay. I
a lot
got
of people are not gonna know, well, what is that,
you.
that type of thing. But if you
Yeah,
know, and it is always going to be a hobby for me,
mm,
and I want to be able to give back. And my greatest my greatest reward that I get from doing this is seeing my the people that receive my artwork, to see their face, to see their smile.
mm.
you know I live by a code that it's not it's not money that makes you successful, it's how many times you smile in a day that makes you successful.
I
The
like
more
that.
smiles you have, the more you win. And so you got to find those type of things that are really invaluable. Some people may say, well, money makes me smile. Well, then I guess you're winning then, if,
Mhm.
if you're smiling. So, that's kind of like where it comes from. But to be able to take something that I am passionate about, to be able to deliver something of my creation to somebody else who shares the same type of passion, it's very fulfilling, especially from our artists. It's one of those type of things that, you know you're giving me money, purchasing my things to cover my time and my expenses, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But the value I get, it's the satisfaction you get from receiving, my work. And with that, I want my piece to give you the satisfaction that it is being appreciated by you because it's speaking to you from the wall,
Right. Right.
that thing. So, that's kind of how, I guess, Alpha inspires me as an artist to do this line of work for alphas, you know. And I have done things for others, obviously, uh, but I have niched down because my business manager told me I needed to niche down, and
Mhm.
so saying, "Okay, I can do that," and then who knows, later on maybe I can branch back out, to capture different genres, whether it's anime or you know Marvel or whatever.
Right.
Right now, I'm focused on Alpha.
I got you. I got you. Can you explain or talk about the hope I say it right? '06 Riders MC and Motorcycle Club?
Absolutely. Oh six Riders, founded in September 29th, not 19,
20.
2013. And it's a motorcycle club. We're 99% club, which means that we are not a outlaw club per se. We
Mm,
do not claim territory. We are a motorcycle club. We do not support. We are not a support club for the 1% dominant clubs. However, we do support their activities by our participation in our presence, and paying for paying to attend their events and that type of thing. So it's a motorcycle club for alphas. You have to be a paid member of Alpha Phi Alpha, and also ride a motorcycle to become eligible to become a member. We do prospect and we do follow the traditional prospecting protocol as far as becoming a member. And Yeah, we're all about uh, brotherhood, motorcycles, and community. So uh, we right now we have three chapters,
mm,
uh, in one in Maryland, Virginia, and Missouri. And we have very strong interests in Pennsylvania, Florida, Texas, California, Ohio, and we're growing, but we will never ever be a big motorcycle club because our stock comes from Alpha, and you have to ride a motorcycle in order to become a member. So yeah.
what type of bike you got?
I have three bikes.
Oh, okay.
I have a Victory
Excuse me.
cross country. No, it's good. It's one of those things that you can't have enough in your garage. But what I have is I have a Victory cross country, 2012, and it's for my long rides. Whether it's going to Miami, Houston, Milwaukee, Kansas City,
Hmm.
that type of thing. Long rides. I do have a Harley. I have a Wide Glide Harley, a 2012 as well. And furthest I rode that one was to Atlanta, from DC area. But that's more so for bar hopping and that type of thing. And it's really, really loud.
Right.
And then I have a project bike, a 1987 Honda Rebel 450. And it was given to me, and I am restoring it to what is called a bobber bike, which means not going to have fenders or things like that on there. But it's a smaller bike, but it's to teach others how to ride a motorcycle.
Okay.
So that's why I'm restoring that one.
That's cool. That's cool, man. I like that. It's getting back to the community.
Oh yeah,
For
yeah. I got to teach
for
people
sure.
how to ride.
I'm trying to get into bikes myself. My friend of mine, he has a 2023 BMW S1000 RR.
Okay, okay. Thanks.
And he's been doing that for like a couple of years. I'm trying to get into it myself.
Yeah. I tell you, wind therapy, it's phenomenal, especially if you can share the road with others, club members, or even as individuals, as a group or whatnot. Just first and foremost, make sure you ride
Right.
safe. Okay, there's safety in numbers for sure. Safety in how you ride as well. If you ride proper protocol, cars see you, they hear you, they respect you, and they're less likely to cut you off or do anything stupid, right? But that don't mean that they
Right.
don't.
Right.
But there's more eyes on the road, within your pocket, if you will, when you ride as a group. So that's highly encouraged. But wind therapy, it's therapeutic. Um, it allows you to be out there, to enjoy Mother Nature, and to be able to think, and it feels like you're free. No worries, that type of thing. So, yeah, if you ever think about doing it, I highly recommend it. And a lot of people say, well, it's not safe and whatnot. Like, everything has a risk, Riding
Hmm.
a cycle may be a little bit more risk, but it also depends on how you ride,
Right.
and an idiot taking out, yeah, there's idiots all over the place, right? whether they're whether they're active shooters or uh, even in a car or
Yeah.
whatever, there people are out there, so it's enjoy life as you get it, and make the most out of it.
No, I definitely concur with that for
Yeah.
sure. I live by that for sure. Definitely. I don't like wasting time. Just always say I just do me.
Yep.
I figure it out later.
Yep.
Uh, do you
Absolutely.
have any big plans coming up this year with your craftsmanship or just in general? You got
Big
anything?
big plans for me would
Yeah.
be to finalize the legitimacy of my business, which means that I need to complete my team with lawyer, accountant.
Hmm.
I already have a business manager, um, a financer. I already have that. So it's definitely to finish up my business structure. And obviously, I got a content manager as well, or content creator.
Hmm.
It's huge. Um, um, I want to get a truck and a trailer to be able to haul my stuff around. Right now, I'm in a Nissan 370Z. And carting wood around that thing is
It's
not
not
good at
fun.
all. No, it's not. So I'm actually at the grips of trading that in for a truck. So that's where I am with that. And then also a smaller goal, but it's a big goal for me, is to create a sales booth for traveling, for like whenever I do shows or something that are physical. I have like this backdrop. I can move this backdrop, and put it up
Mm,
show and things like that. So, it's that type of thing that are, I guess, my big plans, other than getting orders and making people smile. But yeah, that's really my big plans, um, at least for this year.
got you. Let's hope you accomplish all them.
Was that?
Uh, I said, let's hope you accomplish all them
Okay. Yeah, I mean, even if I fall short, I'm going to be a lot further out than I am today. So
for sure.
that's looking at, from my business coach's concern, win every day. Make sure
Yeah.
you win every day. So, that's where I like to get to.
Yes, sir. Uh, shout out 5 people that everybody should know.
Uh, 5 people. I don't know if I
Hmm.
have 5 people, but I can definitely say, first and foremost, my content creator and business manager,
Hmm.
or business coach, I should say, and that happens to be my daughter,
All
Kiana.
right.
Uh, she is a phenomenal creator herself. And she has given me, I've learned so much from her, that, being my daughter is like, how could that be? It's like, I've learned, she's taught me a lot about the business and taken this particular hobby and which direction we want to go and all that type of stuff. So definitely her. Um, J. Anthony Tyler is somebody I had met through her networking, that I have adopted to be my business financer, to help me find money for my business needs and that type of thing. So definitely he is the guy, and he is incredible energy,
Mm.
incredible. He he comes across not in a negative way, but in a very positive way. An old school late night infomercial type of salesperson. He
Okay.
is super energetic. He is uh, definitely highly favored. man of the Lord, that type of thing. And he's just a great person to be around because he lifts the entire room up whenever you're in his presence. So definitely him. Others, I guess, come down to influencers, right?
Okay.
Inspirational trade influencers, which is basically where I kind of like get some of my ideas, and that comes from different artists. It's looking at like cornbread Customs is another wood manufacturer or art creator. He does some outstanding work. He's not in the epoxy line, he's in the painting line, after he carves his out.
Mm.
But his work is clean, it's fresh, it looks phenomenal. And, so I get a lot of inspirations from there. And then artists, Reborn Arts, Opake. He takes like Disney characters and he twists them all up in different shapes, like the hands will be popping out, just the hands, or Mickey's hands, or Bugs Bunny's ears. It'll be all twined in. It's just
Okay.
phenomenal, and it's just to see that. Then there's another one called Eighth Projects. He does like a lot of line work, but he'll take like Yoda and just do like shapes that make Yoda, you know,
Mm.
that type of thing. And then last one, it's House of Timber. It's a girl, I think she's like in Utah, but she does incredible sign work, and she kind of helped me identify, I guess, my niche with dealing with words or letters and numbers, right? As you see, a lot of my artwork all have pretty much have numbers or letters in it, right?
Right.
Uh, she kind of like guided me to go down that route. Just me thinking about, how can I make my art different? So I do have some pieces where they look identical if you got one and I have one,
Hmm.
but when you look at the words that are in there, that's what makes it different, and that's what makes it you, not me,
Right.
right? So it's
Right.
that thing. But yeah, so those are kind of like my people. I would just say you definitely need a content creator these days. You need a business coach to keep you in
Hmm.
line. You
Hmm.
need, obviously, a lawyer from a legal standpoint,
Yeah.
banking situation, accountant,
Hmm.
or financer, and then you need your inspiration or your influencers. I think that's really a very good core of people, if you will, to help you establish a great foundation for your business.
I agree. I definitely agree. Well, I appreciate your time. I I definitely appreciate your art. You
Oh,
convinced
good.
me. Like I definitely I gotta think of an idea though. But I definitely gotta buy something from you,
And
man.
and I
Definitely.
do. I just finishing my website. The last thing I got to do is be able to allow you to book a consultation, which is free,
Okay.
right? It's just basically spending some time with me to give me your ideas. What are you thinking? And we share certain things. And so, if there's something that you're thinking,
Hmm.
let's talk about it. Book a time. It's free, so just book a time and bounce ideas, because your ideas may trigger something in my mind and saying, you know what? I like that. I'm going to incorporate that in my line, and I've been thinking about doing collection lines and stuff like that too. So, those type of things is I get a lot of information by talking to people. So, if you have thoughts and ideas, obviously I'm going to cater anything I do for my clientele to make sure that their piece speaks, from the wall about them. So, it would definitely be whatever I can do to make you smile is where I find the value. you know
Cool. Yeah, let me know when the website's up. I definitely book one.
oh, the website is up. The
Oh,
only thing I need to
okay.
change in there is my booking
Oh,
feature.
okay.
it,
Got
it
you.
I I think I need to pay for a service for that, but it should be probably working tonight, if not by this weekend. But yeah, it's www.boskwoodllc.com. You know.
Yes, sir. When I get back to the States, I'm gonna definitely book a consultation.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Looking forward to it, and thank you very much for doing this. This is my first interview I've ever
Yep.
done.
I'm
Yeah,
glad I could break you
absolutely.
in.
Yeah, I'm fired up, and yeah, appreciate what you're doing, man.
Appreciate you. Tell everyone to follow you on Instagram.
Oh, I definitely will. Definitely will. So.
No, like right now, like
Oh,
tell
I'm
everyone to
sorry.
follow you on
Hey,
Instagram.
hey, world! You heard Q out there. You know, I'm out here trying to get busy, and with Sucker Free, putting on this show. Appreciate that. You follow me. You follow him. You follow the art community. Definitely. But BosswoodLLC.com, come at me. I'm here for you.
Yes,
Let
sir.
let let me let me put a little something in your living space to enrich your life.
Yes,
Okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. Can I call you Stitch or Mr. Wood? How do
Okay.
I address you?
Real quick, Stitch is a name that is given to me as a motorcycle club member.
Okay.
And so people on the set that ride motorcycles, if you ride a motorcycle, you can call me Stitch.
Got you. Got
Uh,
you.
Everybody else is it's bro, hey, Mike, Wood, what up? Woody, whatever. Call me Boss Wood. We all good. But I'm not gonna fret at you if you call me Stitch though. You know,
All right.
because
I like Boskwood. I'll call you Boskwood if you don't mind.
that works too, definitely. But yeah,
All right. All right. Well, I appreciate you, sir. Once
all
again.
right. Appreciate you, man, and thank you for serving. Appreciate that, and come home safe, man, and come home soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, then.
Have a good night.
You too.